Hey, I'm Ellen Wright, and today we're going to talk about how mediation really works in Massachusetts divorce and family court. You know what's wild? Most people think mediation is just two exes in a room with a neutral person saying, okay, let's all just take a deep breath. But in Massachusetts divorce and family court, mediation is not a kumbaya circle. It's strategy, structure, and sometimes a showdown in yoga pants. So today we're breaking down what mediation really looks like here, how it works, and why it might just save you from spending the next 6 months and 6 figures in court. Let's talk about what mediation actually is and isn't. Mediation is a process where you and your soon-to-be ex sit down with a neutral third party, aka the mediator, to work out agreements on things like custody, child support, property division, and who gets to keep the dog. Now, here is what mediation is not. It is not therapy. It isn't binding, and it's not an ambush. The mediator isn't there to judge you or tell you who's right or wrong, because let's face it, nobody in Massachusetts divorce and family court is ever really right or wrong. Their job really is to help you find solutions before you both start paying hourly for lawyers to argue over silly things like a sofa. In Massachusetts, mediation is not required, but if the judge suggests it, it's basically their polite way of saying, you two are acting like children, go try again without me. But don't roll your eyes just yet. Mediation can actually fast-track your case. Most mediations are scheduled within weeks, not months. And you get to walk out the door with a written agreement instead of a stressful pending court date. And yes, that written agreement, when signed and filed and approved by the judge, becomes enforceable as a judgment of the court, meaning your case is over. That's the part they don't put in the pamphlet. Now let's talk about what happens in the mediation room. Let's set the scene a bit. Picture this: 2 people, 1 mediator, and a pot of coffee strong enough to power through years of unresolved tension. The mediator is going to start off with some ground rules. No yelling, no interrupting, and ideally, no storming out the door. You're each going to get a chance to explain your perspective of your situation. Then the mediator gets to work and starts finding some common ground. It's not magic, it's really guided negotiation. Now, some mediators will work with the parties together in the same room. Others do what I call the shuttle diplomacy method. They put the parties in separate rooms with the mediator sort of bouncing between the two of you, like peace talks, but with child support involved. Let's talk about the benefits, aka why I'm a fan. Mediation has one thing that the court doesn't: control. You and your ex are going to get to decide what's fair, not a stranger in a robe. When it's done right, mediation is faster, cheaper, and usually more civil. You can walk in with tension and walk out with a plan. And look, even if you hate your ex, mediation can still be worth it. Because once you let a judge decide your schedule, your money, or your parenting plan, you've basically handed them the keys to your future, and I promise you, they don't know your life like you do. All right, let's talk about when mediation doesn't work. Now, let's be real. Sometimes mediation fails. Maybe one person isn't ready, maybe emotions are still super high, or maybe you're dealing with an abuse or power imbalance. In those cases, the mediator will stop the process, and that's a good thing. Mediation only works when both parties can sit at the table safely and honestly. Mediation is not meant to be a weapon, it's a tool. But when it does work, it's total magic, because instead of handing your life over to a judge, you've both crafted something that actually fits your real-world situation. So here's the truth. Mediation isn't soft, it's smart. It's the part of divorce where logic gets a seat at the table. If you're in Massachusetts and you're heading toward divorce, ask yourself, do you want to fight or do you want to finish? I'm Ellen Wright, and trust me, if you can avoid letting a judge decide who gets the Peloton, do it. Because the bottom line is that mediation can mean less drama, fewer billable hours, and maybe, just maybe, one less ghost haunting your inbox.